Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield. All right, let's go. What's up, everybody? Robert Ferriell here, certified 10X coach, speaker, and mentor. You are listening to Elevate Springfield, where we're going to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Hey, well, I'm excited for another great week in the capital city and another great episode today. Hey, if you've been listening to the show for any length of time, or if you know me personally, you know I spend a lot of time on my health and wellness, put a lot of time and effort into that. And today we're going to dive into that a little bit. I have a guest. We're going to talk all things natural remedies and, hey, some things you can do to just kind of set those foundations for health and wellness. So I'm excited for Kylie Melvin from the Primitive Prairie to join us right after the break. Looking for a natural path to wellness? Discover the Primitive Prairie, your local source for all organic teas and tinctures. Led by a certified master herbalist and board-certified natural wellness practitioner, they're here with purpose, serving the community and helping others naturally. From custom wellness consultations to handcrafted herbal remedies, the Primitive Prairie is where healing begins with heart. Visit theprimitiveprairie.com because your health deserves nature's touch. And we are back. Super excited for my guest today. This is Kylie Melvin from the Primitive Prairie. How you doing today, Kylie?
Good. How are you doing, Robert?
Fantastic. Excited you're here to talk all things health and wellness in your business.
Me too.
It'll be fun. Let's start with you just telling us a little bit about you and your background.
All right. So I am from Athens, so I'm local. I have always lived in Central Illinois, small town kid. A few years ago, I went back to school because I decided I'm not living my passion. I just felt like there was something more I wanted to do. I actually started a little hobby business in 2012, like a year after college. And it was like more topical herbal products, more like soaps, lotions. And I was kind of content with just letting it be. I had kids, I had another job, and it was just really pulling at me to do more with this. So I went back to school a few years ago, and I became a certified master herbalist and a board certified natural wellness practitioner.
So what kind of classes do you have to take to get that?
So to become a certified master herbalist, first they start you with the history of herbalism, which is really, really important because one of the things I'm most passionate about telling people is herbal medicine has not been disproven, it has been discredited. And so we learned about the history, the formation of the American Medical Association, all of that. How did we get here? How did we get to where there's no longer herbal doctors? I can't even use the word apothecary in my business. That is illegal. Yes, because I wanted to. And I heavily researched a way to get around that. And you cannot. Unless you're a pharmacist, you cannot.
Okay.
So you take a history course. Then you take, the basics of herbs, which I'd been studying my whole adult life. So I kind of knew that. But I wanted to really learn the contraindications so I could be a trustworthy source for people and a reliable source. So the contraindications between medications and herbs to make sure everybody's using the herbs safely. And then there was a whole segment on the body systems. And then what I used my educational hours, those ones were recognized by the American Association of Natural Wellness Practitioners. And that's where, when I told my husband about this, when I was like, I'm going back to school, which anybody that knows him knows he's my biggest fan.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah. And he did not question it. He's just like, all right, we'll talk after we put the kids to bed and you can tell me about it. And I said, well, I studied all of these schools. In this specific one, their educational hours are recognized by that association. So then I can test and I can become board certified as well as have that master herbalist certification. So I feel like that was the best route to really gain confidence in myself. And also to show others, I put in the work, I put in the work to make sure you can trust me. So that's kind of how I got here.
That's awesome. So now you feel like you're living your passion and your purpose now?
And that is the best feeling. I went to college for something completely different. So knowing, look, I'm actually doing something. I remember growing up, my dad always telling me he was a business owner. and his dad was a business owner. And I noticed that's like a common trend on your podcast.
Yeah.
A family of business owners, and his
Sure.
brothers were business owners. And he always told me like he woke up every day and got to go to a different job site and be outside. And I worked for him all through high school and college. And I was like, I want to wake up feeling like that. But I did the safe route. You know, like I got into college, I looked at all of the different options for me. And it was like, there's business, that sounds safe. And I was like, but no, I don't want to be like just in an office all day. And then I was like, well, there's psychology, that sounds fun.
Sure.
And I actually got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, which a lot of
Okay.
people are like, really? But it's because of what my dad said. I was like, well, then I can be a conservation officer and I can be outside every single day. And I loved hiking, fishing, hunting. So I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. I was 2 months from getting my degree and I met a conservation officer and I said, what's the next step for me? Like, what do I do now? And he goes, well, get ready to go to Chicago. And I said, oh, for like training or
Right, that's what I would
he goes,
think.
no, you're gonna live there. And I said, no, I want to be a conservation officer here, like in Central Illinois. And he goes, well, and when I got out of college, the state wasn't hiring anyway. But he said, all of our conservation officers here are well settled. And it could be 1 year or it could be like 4 years before they will send you down from Cook County where they need you. And that was it. I was like, well, I'm going to finish my degree, but so at least I'll have a degree.
Right.
But there goes that. So, and like I said, the whole time I had this hobby business, I didn't really have the confidence to run with it. It was more like I did vendor shows or flea markets and then maybe like twice a year and then friends and family.
Sure.
Who probably are like, oh, we should support her. They were buying my stuff, but.
Hey, got to have that power base to start.
I know. But this finally taking this all the way was, I think, what I really needed for myself more than anything.
So you on your website shows you do wellness consultations too. Tell us a little bit about those.
So a lot of people will charge right off the bat for that. I don't. If you go to my website and click it, it will let you send me a message directly. And I always tell people, check your spam because I feel like I respond these lengthy responses like, hey, you can call me.
Right.
And nobody gets it. So but you click the link and you can send me. A lot of times I do it for free for the first one. And that's because a lot of times it's just people saying, one I get a lot is like, I have hypothyroidism. I'm on medication, but what can I take for like all the side effects I have and all the symptoms I have, all the whole body inflammation? And I don't want to charge them just to help them find something to feel better. However, sometimes people have such a long slew of medical issues and different medications they're on, and they actually want to work towards getting rid of some of that medication they're on, that we will actually work together. And that's where I do, like a minimal fee for like a half an hour consultation to check in every couple weeks. And we work on what in the natural wellness field they're the foundations of health. Every herbal practitioner has like, some have 5, some have 7, but it's working on like the basics, like what should your baseline be that you're functioning at for optimal health?
Sure.
And so that's what I'll kind of do with people.
What are some of those 5 to 7 that you're talking about that most people have? What are those 5?
So for me, I keep it simple because I'm like, it's all encompassing to me. So your baseline at what you should be functioning at is, you need to get a tangible amount of sleep for you. Everybody's different, but let's like aim for 7 for starters. Let's try to get 7 hours of sleep. Let's try to keep it routine. So sleep is one. Then you have water intake, which I feel like, is that your water intake?
That's my water. Big gallon glass jug every day.
Yeah. And then, so water intake and then your diet, and that does not mean go on a diet. I don't even really believe in diet. It's just eat real food, nourish your body with real food. And then another one is exercise. You have got to move. How different it is now versus just like in 1960s. So now people take 3,000 steps per day on average. It's like a little over a mile. In the 1960s, people walked about 5 miles a day.
Big difference.
Yes. And obesity rates have tripled since the 60s. And diet has to do with that too. There's a lot more processed food. But 100 years ago, our great-grandparents were walking an average of 10 miles a day. Wow. So me, I'm just like, exercise is just moving your body.
Move, yeah.
For circulation, for your immune system, for lymphatic drain, like just move. So that's a big one for me is the exercise part.
That's one of my goals. I work out every day, but the steps piece.
Yeah.
10,000 steps a day, regardless.
I do that too.
Yeah, that's in addition to my regular, weight training and stuff. But yeah, that's one of my goals for every day.
That's one of my newer ones I started this year because I'm a homeschool mom too. So we're at home. We try to get out throughout the week, and I host a forest school, and we try to go on hikes. But it's like every day though, I would like to hit this minimum. It is so important for every part of your body to function at its best. And then the last foundation of health that I use is mental well-being. And whether that's like spirituality, meditating, yoga, a hobby you're really into, just something to get your mind right, because stress leads to inflammation. So just those are my personal foundations. I keep it pretty simple.
I
so
like
people
those 4.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You feel like if people can get those 4 things right,
Yeah.
they're well on their way to doing the tweaks and the things that they could do
and
later.
I feel like this just needs to be your baseline. This just needs to be how you get, this isn't temporary. This is like, you need to look at this as a lifestyle change, and then you pass that on to your children, because that's an issue we're seeing in society.
That's a big issue.
Children are having chronic problems that used to be in elderly people. And so then you pass it on, you teach your family, and we can maybe change this trend now. That's my whole goal and why I do this.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. We have to be able to break that. I mean, it's similar in age. We grew up in a time where, everything became more convenient and process oriented.
Did you get used to eating it? Your taste buds. Your taste buds get used to eating it.
Yeah.
All of it. And I've recognized in my children, like, now if I do give them fast food, they think it tastes like the cheeseburgers will be like, this is salt. Like, this just tastes like salt.
It does.
Like salty plastic. I'm like,
yeah.
But because you can acclimate your children's taste buds, and you can make it fun, and you can get creatives. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that too. So
no, completely agree. Like some of the biohacking has what do they call it? Non-nutritive food-like substances, stuff like that. Yeah. It's just, it's so bad.
Like, let's just put some fancy words in there and hope that people think this is okay.
Right. So as far as the nutrition goes,
like
I said, it's not really a diet, it's nutrition,
Yeah.
right? So what are some of the basics people could follow there?
Well, I would say one thing I actually started doing is flour is your regular flour, even if you get the top of the line flour. I actually just talked to your wife about this.
Yeah.
But it is void of all nutrients because they have to remove all those nutrients so it doesn't have excess oil in it and doesn't go rancid. So like I will mill our flour, and I'm not recommending anybody do that, but it's like try to get the top of the line with the bread. Try to get it as whole grain as possible. I'm not one that thinks you need to cut like carbs and bread. I'm not that person. And I will say when I was in school, we had a teacher, they all did something different. One was like, don't drink coffee. Like, don't even do it. And then one was like, no, I need my coffee. I'm like, I need my coffee too. And then I had one that was a vegan. But all in all, I would say you try to just really look at the quality of what you're eating first and foremost, and then cut the processed food. I mean, there's so much bad in it. We have excess salt. We have preservatives. We have glyphosate. We have seed oils. And I always tell people, don't stress yourself out so badly. I've had friends that have been so stressed about what they're feeding their kids. I'm like, no, don't, everything in moderation, but try to have, once again, your baseline. Like, what's your baseline of what you feed your family? And that's kind of what I go off of. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whole foods. I mean,
whole foods, real food.
Just real food.
To me, it's simple. It should, like, why would you think eating something that's not real is good for, like, I can't wrap my head around it. To me, it's pretty simple, just real food.
Yeah. There's so many different quote unquote diets out there and people pushing this and that.
Yeah.
Just lay off the highly processed crap and eat whole food, right? I mean, it's really quite simple if you really look at it.
Yes, so, exactly.
Now, the bread thing, I like my carbs. I mean, I need them for working out and everything. We started getting carbs. Pacha is the brand.
Yeah.
We use. It's a sprouted buckwheat bread from they're in California and they ship it, but super good. Yeah. Really good stuff.
I've started researching a lot of different ancient grains that I'll actually mill for bread. And like I said, I'm not telling anybody to go milk. I know that's excessive. That's why I put primitive in my business name, is that I like kind of doing things the old fashioned. I feel like there's something to be like admired in that, they had such a great work ethic, and I think it should be passed down to people. So I do like doing that stuff. That's just something that's kind of like a hobby for me. But like you said, just getting quality, even if you're not milling it, go get quality flour, get quality grains.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's excessive at all. I think probably a lot of people would say that a lot of the stuff I do for my health and wellness is excessive.
It takes no time. I was just telling a friend that I was like, instead of pouring it out of the bag of flour, I mill it for like a minute and I use it. So like it's nothing really to do it. I'm not doing it like they did in the 1800s, cranking something.
Right.
It does have an electric button.
Sure. No, it's like I said, I think it's quite simple with that. Just eat the whole foods and stay away from the highly processed stuff.
Yes.
And you can certainly help the kids by developing that palate for real food.
Yes.
Definitely. So let's get into some of the products you have. There's a ton of tinctures on there.
Yes.
For those of you out there, of course, I've used tinctures for a long time, but for anybody out there that doesn't know what a tincture is, what is it?
Yes. So a tincture, how it's made is I will choose herbs that work well together, and I will measure them out. There's different ratios in my Materia Medica, which is like my guideline for all the herbs I use. There's different ratios that make extraction the most potent for each herb. So I will use those ratios and I will soak the herb in alcohol. And there's a percentage. There is a science behind it. A lot of people just think it's like we're just throwing things.
Throw a bunch in there and there you
crossing our fingers. But there is a science. You have to measure things out. And it sits for about 8 to 12 weeks. And then I will do a double filtration and make sure there's not little particles of herbs in it. But it is extracted in alcohol. And one thing is you're only taking a couple dropperfuls. Some people will use vinegar, like different things that are non-alcohol. But the cool thing is a little goes a long way. You'll have a tincture bottle forever. And if you use alcohol, it is shelf stable for a really long time. Like a fad herb lately has been ashwagandha. That is the worst tasting thing in the entire world. I'll put it in some teas and I'll make sure I put like hibiscus and cinnamon in those teas because you will taste it. It'll sit at the bottom of your cup. But if you had that in a tincture, I use brandy because it's like floral and it kind of at least doesn't make it. Because some people use like Everclear or I'm like, oh boy.
Ooh.
But I will use brandy. It's kind of got floral notes. But like there are certain herbs that are just disgusting as they are. I kind of think it's helpful when you just want to take maybe an all-in-one and just make it quick. Just put it in your drink in the morning and go with it. So that's a tincture. I think they're wonderful options especially for people that just don't enjoy drinking tea. Some people don't like sitting down with a tea every day. So I think it makes, a bit more manageable for people to consume it.
Absolutely. And you said it's only a dropper full or two, so it's not.
Yeah, depending
so
on.
When we say alcohol, it's not like you're taking 2 shots of alcohol or something.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. So it's minimal.
Yeah.
It's not enough to worry about, in my opinion. But
so what are some of the things people would take a tincture for? Like some of the ones you have on your website, what are they recommended for?
My most popular tincture is probably Good Vibrations. I really like music, so sometimes there will be little music hints in my names of things. So Good Vibrations is kind of a chill you out tincture. It has skullcap, which is a nervine herb that'll kind of calm your nerves. It has ashwagandha in it. Mm-hmm. It has passion flower in it. These are all calming herbs. That's a popular one because you can take it more often than you take other tinctures. You can take it a few times throughout the day if you're stressed. That is not as potent, though, as like the St. John's wort. And this is, once again, where herbal medicine has been discredited, not disproven. There are a lot of studies saying St. John's wort is not only great for depression, it is great for the people that have depression where they have extreme anxiety paired with it. And so St. John's wort, the only thing they'll say is, well, it's kind of scary. Like you don't want to take St. John's wort and take an antidepressant. I'm like, well, would you mix a bunch of antidepressants?
Right, exactly.
Like some of it, but that's another popular one. But that's a lot more potent.
Sure.
It supposedly can be used as an antidepressant.
Yeah.
And then another popular one is my elder's tincture, because elderberry is a very popular.
Yeah, that was the next one I was going to ask you about because that one is super popular.
But I will say I put echinacea in it, which. Echinacea is the purple cone flower. It's like a popular native Illinois plant. And I think that's stronger personally to help build your immune system. So I will actually put elderberry, elderflower, and echinacea in that tincture.
Okay.
And that's a good one. Yeah, I sell a lot of that in the fall and the winter. I use a floral brandy, and that it actually smells really good when I'm like extracting it because it's berries and floral and just really good. That is probably one of my top ones throughout the winter. But then Good Vibrations would definitely be like all year long. I feel like I sell a lot of that.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'll have to try that one out.
Yeah,
we've done elderberry for a long
Yeah.
time. But
It is wonderful. It's great for kids, too, because I think the berry part, I mean, my kid's not going to sit there and drink like an echinacea leafy root tea. Like, elderberry's fun for kids, too. So I think it's more manageable for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other popular tinctures?
I'm going to be formulating a belly one because that's probably one of the biggest consults along with thyroid.
Gut health, leaky gut,
health.
and the whole thing, yeah?
That'll be next.
Well, what are some, I mean, if you had a gut health one, what kind of stuff would be in there?
It depends on what form of medicine you follow, because there's like Ayurvedic medicine that follows cooling and warming and wet and dry. With gut health, you would want a lot of wet herbs that kind of help bring moisture back to the intestinal tract. You can take teas that help with like digestion. So when I recommend a tea, I just had this happen last month. A lady reached out for a consult and she said, what do I do? I mean, she had her gallbladder removed and they didn't really give her any guidance for after that. No aftercare guidance. She's like, what do I eat? I'm like, well, did they tell you to stay away from this and this? She goes, no. And so I made her a tea for the time being because I was like, the best thing you can do is take this to help move things along in your whole digestive tract. After you eat, it'll ease cramping, it'll coat the lining, all this stuff. So I did make her a tea. But gut health, I'm really passionate about because you hear everybody say your gut health is important, or you'll hear people say, well, if you have skin problems, it's your gut, but nobody talks about why. So I'm like, for me, you need to educate me. Like, I want to hear the reason you're saying that. So your gut actually, some people also hear gut-brain axis a lot.
Yeah.
Axis a lot. And they're also, once again, like, what does that mean? Like, people will throw it around and they don't talk about what it means. So your gut houses what they call the second brain. And that is because your enteric nervous system has as many neurons as your spinal cord. And that controls your mood. That even helps with lymphatic drainage. I mean, your gut health is so important. So what I do, for example, when somebody reaches out for a consult, I will set them up with a tea just to help them along, help with some of those side effects of like IBS symptoms. And then we will start talking about how to heal their gut. So the 3 R's of gut health are re-inoculate. So you want to introduce some fermented foods, and make sure they're different types of bacteria. Like, let's start to like repopulate and, fix your microbiome in your gut.
So with the fermented food, talking kimchi, sauerkrauts, yogurts, the whole thing, right?
Some Greek yogurt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And then another R in the 3 R's is replace. So after an illness or antibiotics, your mucosal barrier gets destroyed. And so you'll want to that's where those herbs in the tea that help with making things coated so everything can move through better, and then repair. So that once again is using herbs that'll kind of heal and coat things in your digestive tract, because things get really inflamed when your gut and your digestive system is getting basically overtaken by one type of bacteria or getting stressed and inflamed. So those are my 3 R's. So we'll go through that together, like reseeding your microbiome, repairing, and keeping up a diet after that to keep feeding that properly.
I've been listening to a lot of stuff on that lately. I listened to Dr. Gundry and Dr. Mark Hyman and all those guys. They talk a lot about the microbiome and everything.
It's so important. And a lot of people, I hate to quote this directly because I've read so many different things, but they say after a round of antibiotics, it completely messes up your gut. I've heard different things, and I've heard it also depends on the exact antibiotic, but I've heard anywhere from 6 months to 18 months, depending on the antibiotic, will just completely, and they'll say people will go in a depressive state because, like I said, the gut-brain axis, they're totally related. Yeah. So your brain and your mood can be impacted by your gut. So I always tell people after antibiotics, like, let's start doing that whole reseeding your gut, fixing your microbiome, repairing it. And then usually if you get right on that, you can get over those things a lot quicker. So
that's a big issue for kids too, right? Yeah. I mean, a lot of kids that are getting a ton of antibiotics. Yeah, I mean, just completely like brush fire in there.
And finally, I mean, I even saw it on mainstream news that they were finally telling doctors, like, we need to lay off. And that's one of the things I learned in school is most ear infections are like post-viral and they don't need antibiotics, but they do it. They just they're like, here, ear infection, I don't ever remember growing up and getting like, I remember my dad giving me like cotton balls. He's like, it'll go away.
Right. I love fermented food, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I eat sauerkraut just
Yeah.
about every day and
It's
yogurt
so
every
good.
day. I typically do. There's a coconut yogurt that I like a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I
really
do.
good.
I give my daughters Greek yogurt all
Yeah.
the time, like different types. I'm like, this is so good. And then like some pumpkin seed granola.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that works. No, I went dairy free about a year ago.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like, I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna go dairy. I've just never eaten dairy since
Yeah.
then. And
Really?
yeah. It's been like a year since I've eaten any dairy, and then I kind of missed yogurt. It's like, oh, I always liked yogurt, and then I
Yeah.
found this coconut yogurt. And I'm like, that's really good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's starting to become relatively popular. It's
Yeah.
in Harvest Market and all the places now and everything. It has become, microbiome has become kind of almost like a buzz thing
It is
now.
a buzz, and it's annoying. And this is one of the reasons, not to backtrack, but the reason I really started committing to like, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to do this right is post COVID, you'd get on social media and it was like all these reels and about take this herb for this and this. And just because I'd been researching herbs since I was a freshman in college, and I was like, I didn't have the certificate to prove it, but I was like, I know for a fact some of the advice they're giving is not right. And
Right.
then, not all the time, but you'd have a few influencers that were spreading false advice. And I'm like, this is once again where we start discrediting herbal medicine because somebody's out there spreading things that aren't true. That is one of the things is that those buzzwords, they never get into the details of it. Like, you're not really educating someone, which is my passion. You're not educating when you're just throwing around buzzwords that you're like, let's talk about your microbiome. And
Right.
you need to eat this to fix it. But you're not talking about how it works with your body.
Right. How it's
and how it
working and
affects
why.
your body.
And quite frankly, it's all, different for everybody
Yeah.
too. Everybody's
Yeah.
specific situation.
Yes,
Their
exactly.
specific body and how that
Yes,
all works
Yes.
together.
exactly.
What kind of things would you take for allergies? Because
You been talking to my husband?
No,
So
I
he
haven't.
hands out my allergy tea.
Yeah.
He'll call me on lunch and be like, I have a little tea bag I'm going to give to so-and-so down the hall. I'm like,
Right. Well,
he told you to ask that.
no, he did not. Because I was having a conversation earlier
Yeah.
with another colleague, and I used to have really bad allergies.
Yeah.
And especially in the fall and the spring. And ever since I cleaned up my diet, so I don't know if it's something to do with microbiome or not, but ever since I cleaned up my diet, my allergies have simply gone away. And I do not really have any anymore. So
There's a link to inflammation in your body and allergies. And it's so funny you said that because last night I told my husband I found this really in-depth course and I've been looking. I always believe you should never quit learning. I think it should just always be something you do your entire life. And I said, I found this in-depth course I've been looking for about, I want to learn more about allergies. But what makes your body have this histamine response? So I am diving into that. I have not started it, but I did just sign up for a course. So it's funny you said that because I know that they've said inflammation is heavily involved in that. So I wonder if you cut foods that cause inflammation.
Yeah,
It says your body goes into like overload basically. But for the short term, the whole reason the whole reason he started believing in this, because I'd be like whipping up teas and he's like, okay.
Sure.
And then one day he went out to cut ragweed in our yard and he has horrible allergies anyway. And he came in and was just a mess. And I said, I'm going to make you some stinging nettle tea. And he's like, okay, I'll try anything. He was shocked because he was always taking allergy medication and he hasn't taken it in years. He has not taken it in years. And I put herbs in there that help with like keeping your eyes wet. You get dry eyes. Yeah. But stinging nettle, like I said, I'm big on educating. It's how I've felt comfortable marketing. And so I just posted a video of going out and foraging stinging nettle so other people can do it too. But that is the number one herb for allergies is 100% stinging nettle. So that is a tea that's actually really popular of mine. So it's called Nature's Guardian, and it is an allergy tea. And you go out and forage for that? Is the native to around here? Is it relatively prevalent where if you know what you're looking for, you're going to... I actually put that in my video because there's wood nettle and stinging nettle, and you can eat both if you're ever in a survival situation. But stinging nettle is the one that works by blocking histamine receptors. So stinging nettle is what you're looking for, and there is a way to tell them apart, which I put in the video. it is amazing how much he's been able to manage it with that. Like and that just changed his life. He's like, oh, I'm a believer now. Like that.
Nice.
Yes, that's what did it for him.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I must have been eating a lot of highly inflammatory foods.
I
And now
think
that they're
so.
gone, I'm
Like
just
I said, I
not
looked at
getting
this
that. I don't.
course and that was what it said they're going to dive into is inflammation in your body. And I was like, I've been wondering that. I was like, I'm signing up for this.
All
I'm
right.
going to take this course. So I'm
Awesome.
excited. I'll
Cool.
get
Yeah,
back
you'll have to keep
you.
me posted
Yeah,
on
I'll
that.
get back to you.
Definitely. So you said you forage for that nettle.
Yeah.
How do you source all of your ingredients for your tinctures and your
So-
teas? You forage for a lot of it, or you grow it,
no.
or
So I
buy
actually
it?
really like using like traditional Chinese medicine. I mean, it's been around forever. So that I have to buy. And I use a company called Mountain Rose Herbs. They are well known in the herbal community. You want to go with what you know is like legitimate. Like if they're saying they're organic, they better be organic. I use organic herbs. I will source the elderberry blossoms and the elderberries, and I source what I can at my home. Like we just started our garden, and I grew all I can of the things that I use the most, like lemon balm and all,
Mm.
But other than that, I have a very reputable source that I
Okay.
use, and it is all organic.
How important is it to be all organic? Because on anything really, because everything I eat is organic now too. So why is that so important?
I know this is a hot button subject because we're in farm country, first of all. Like,
Yeah.
let's just say what it is.
Yes, indeed.
But I feel like because of that, I have seen the effects. It is not okay to put something on your food that can break down and kill other things. I will never, like my mind, once again, it's back to the simplicity of it. Like, does that sound like it makes sense to you?
Right.
So important it's organic because I do not really like glyphosate or anything like that, Roundup, anywhere near any of my food. So I definitely wouldn't put it in something I'm using for wellness and to heal my body. So it is super important. That is all I will use. And I still think I'm pretty affordable. I keep having people tell me to raise my prices, but I'm like, I just haven't yet, but we'll see.
You are affordable. I mean, looking at your prices on there compared to other places I've seen.
Somebody had just bought tea a few weeks ago. They're like, I wish I would have known about you because you're so much more affordable. I'm like, I don't know, but I do use top quality herbs.
Mm-hmm. No, I love it. No, the glyphosate thing, I mean, I think we've known for a long time that it's not good. And like you said, the simplicity of the thing is, if it's killing off everything else, you probably don't want it in your body.
It's like long-term excessive exposure, but it's like, but just knowing it could do it long-term, like,
Right.
Why would you ingest that?
Yeah.
I don't.
Now there's studies coming out to where they really didn't study how it affected the microbiome like we were talking about. And now a lot of studies are coming out where how it does affect the microbiome, and it's really not good.
Like avoid it. Like once again, if it's not real and it's not fueling your body, just avoid it if you can.
Yeah, that's with a lot of different things too. People tell me that on a lot of different foods, and it's not once you know that it's terrible for you. I can't really enjoy it anyway because I'm like, just why am I eating this?
Yeah,
why this crap?
I shouldn't be having this. That's what I'm saying. Like you have to weigh the stress. You don't want to like stress yourself out, but then sometimes you learn so much about what's in our food that you can't eat it.
I've gotten to the point where it's just like, well, I'm just not gonna eat that. I mean, it's not even really I'm depriving myself of that, or I'm trying to get away. No, I'm just not gonna eat that because that's.
Oh, I know.
There's no nutritive. I mean, even if you say a lot of people say, well, got to live a little, type of thing, but it's not really living if that stuff.
Another one I hear a lot when I do things the way I do is you have to die of something, and I'm like, but you're gonna die earlier than me. You just say that like you gotta die of something. It's like, but we're talking about potentially living longer. So
right, yeah, because it's expending that lifespan.
People love to say that. Like I'll be like, oh, but we really shouldn't be eating that. They'll be like, gotta die of something. I'm like,
yeah,
wow.
No, I hear that a lot too.
Yeah.
So. How does this putting all these practices in place, how does this elevate your life personally?
Well, I would say I had to elevate my life to elevate my business because first of all, being from a small town, everybody kind of talks about everything everybody's doing. And I was scared for the longest time to put myself out there. Mm-hmm. So I had to actually just feel confident in myself. And one thing that I've learned is, a lot of people say, well, how do you sell yourself? Like, how do you sell yourself to people and what you're doing? I don't sell myself. Like, I was like, I'm just here doing what I love and I will share it and I will share myself. Mm-hmm. And if you can relate to that and agree with what I'm doing, you will find me And so I feel like, just living what I'm preaching through what I'm doing. I have to live that life. I have to be disciplined just like I expect my clients to be for their health. I have to be disciplined even in my business, setting goals. I'm big on setting goals. That's something I learned to grow my business. Like I said, it sat stagnant for so long. It was a passion and a hobby, but I was like, I'm never going to reach people if I don't start sharing what I'm doing.
Right. Absolutely.
And my biggest fear was the marketing part because I didn't want to annoy people. I'm sure you hear that a lot. I don't want to annoy people.
Right. But when you have that passion, you have that purpose, what you do.
Yeah.
Helps people.
Yes.
Right? It's not annoying people. It's not pushing people. It's you
Yes.
doing what you
Yes.
think is right and you helping people.
Yes.
So,
I'm like, once again, not trying to sell me to anybody. You're either here for what I'm doing or you're not. But I will share my knowledge and my passion. And if this speaks to you, you will find, and they will find you. I follow this guy named Ted Hargrave, and I think he's one of those people some either really like or don't. But he does what he calls ethical marketing. And the reason he really spoke to me is he's about, if you're not the type to be pushy and do these high sales tactics, there's a way you can still market yourself. And he said, stop looking for your ideal clients. He said, why your ideal clients are already looking for you. The purpose of marketing isn't about finding them. It's about making it easy, if not inevitable, for them to find you.
Mm-hmm.
And I read that, I think he put it on like Instagram or something. I read that a couple days after I had a pop-up event where people like were surrounding me. And I'm like, well, where's everybody from? And they had drove so far away to come meet me in the rain early in the morning. And I didn't even know I was reaching people that far away. And
That's
I was just
amazing.
thinking to know you were looking for me because you were at your wit's end with your health and you found me. And then I saw that quote a couple days later. I'm like, this is exactly like, I'm just going to keep sharing. I'm going to set goals for how often I'm going to share. I do think it's important to set goals for when you're going to post or when you're going to.
Absolutely.
And I've done what works for me with having little kids at home.
Mhm.
And so I do what I can manage and try to do a little above that goal for the week. And just knowing that I still put myself out there regularly enough where it's reaching people and I can change their life is like all I wanted the whole time, So it's just that moment with those people that morning. I was like, wow, you showed up for me.
I heard you had a really great showing. Yeah, they really came out for you that
They
day.
caught me
That
off
was
guard
awesome.
because I thought people are just going to be like shopping, but they actually showed up for like consultations.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh no, I'm not. Like, I was like, I don't just have herbs on hand to make you so,
Right.
But I hope they'll all reach back out to me. But just knowing they were like, I've been following you, and
How cool is that though
it felt so good. I was pretty emotional about it because I was like, oh man. And they just some of the stuff they shared with me, I was like, they were really struggling with their health. And so it was nice to know that they trust me too. Like, I hope I build trust with people and they know they can come to me. That's the whole end game for me.
Right. So what are some of the goals for the business moving forward?
Well, like I said, I am always encouraging more education. I've even looked into like dietitian programs, like
Sure.
anything I can do to keep growing to where I feel like I can give the most to my clients is just the best. Another big thing, I could put like a little shameless plug in here for anybody that has any buildings for rent, but it's really hard to run a business out of your home with children. And so I've kind of been thinking about a brick and mortar. It'd be nice for people to come in for consultations. I really like face-to-face more than phone consultations because then I feel like we could like lay out stuff from their doctor. And I would way rather do that. So I am looking for like a brick and mortar. That's probably my next step. I don't know when it'll happen, but I am actively looking.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be another. But just I keep setting goals and I just keep committing to those. I have my daily or my weekly must-do goals, and then I have like extra ones beyond that where I'm like, if this week goes really smoothly, we're going to do this too. And usually it's the blog. Usually I'm like, if this week goes well, I need to do the blog.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Awesome. No, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Have to stop by. That would be great.
I know.
So, yeah.
It's hard, though. I'm in such a rural area. It wouldn't be manageable for me to come into Springfield every day. But...
Right. But like you said, people have shown that they're going to
show up. Yeah, so maybe they would.
Wherever your brick and mortar is, whether it's in Springfield or right outside Springfield, people are going to come to you.
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Well, that's amazing. So we've had a lot of great takeaways so far, but give us one more personally and one more professionally to help people elevate their life or their business.
All right. One more personally would be do not care about what others think about what you're doing. And it seems like such a simple statement, but it is not. Do not care about what people think about what you're doing. You're being true to yourself. I'm raising little girls. I don't want them to watch me being scared, to be authentically me. I share myself, and you're either here for it or you're not. So it's like a personal thing. And like I said, that took a lot for me to get over, because I was like, what if people think I'm being ridiculous? What if people think I'm like a crunchy hippie? Like all these.
I get that too sometimes.
Yeah. So it was like, what if people are judging me? And at the end of the day, I was like, I am here to help people, and I know what I'm doing is good. And so I had to get over that. And then for professional, it is to keep sharing your good. Just keep sharing. And it ties in with the personal. The professional for me ties in with the personal. So keep sharing your good, keep sharing your story, keep sharing what you're doing. And the people that need to show up to that, the people that are there for you, they will show up for you. 100%. Yeah,
awesome.
That's what I think.
And all you crunchy hippies out there, join us. It's nice over here.
Come over here. The water is fine.
Well, Kyleigh, tell us how people can check out your business, where they should go if they want some of your tinctures or your teas or get a wellness consultation, anything.
Yeah. So the Primitive Prairie across the board. I'm on Instagram, the Primitive Prairie, Facebook. I post most of my stuff on Instagram and Facebook. Like if you want to learn more or see some of my reels, of a lot of times I will just set up a reel of what I'm doing that day. And that's my way to share in a way that I'm comfortable with, just sharing what I'm doing and educating others. I'm lightly on TikTok. I'm still kind of getting used to that.
Right.
And then the website is www.theprimitiveprairie.com.
Awesome. Well, Kyleigh, appreciate you spending the afternoon with us here. Awesome conversation.
Yeah.
I think I want to do this a couple more times. I love this stuff.
Yeah, me too.
So if you're up for it, we're going to have you back. How about that?
I am. And I'll have more information on allergies.
Sounds good. All right. Well, we're going to let Kyleigh get back to elevating Springfield. And for the rest of y'all, we'll be back after the break. Hey, everybody. If you like what you've heard so far, hey, join us over on Facebook. We have a group and a page over there. You can also join our free community where we will bring you additional insights and strategies to help you elevate your life, your business, and ultimately our community. You can find that link in the show notes. We would love to have you join us. Let's get back to it. All right. How about Kyleigh? Awesome stuff, right? We want to thank Kyleigh for spending the afternoon with us and bringing some of those strategies to help us all in our health and wellness journeys. Let's touch on a little bit about health and wellness from a 10X perspective. Hey, what does Grant Cardone say about health and wellness? First up, he really doesn't separate business from health. For him and for 10Xers, they go hand in hand. Energy is one of our most valuable assets. If you ever seen Grant in person or any of his videos or at any of his conferences, you know he lives what he preaches. He's intense. He has the energy to outlast everybody. He always talks about how physical energy fuels performance in really every area of your life, whether you're closing deals, creating content, leading a team. Without your health, your goals don't mean much because you won't have the stamina to reach them. Health is a form of wealth. And if you don't have health, it doesn't matter what your financial wealth looks like, right? And if you can't take care of yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of your business, your team, and your family? So we have to get this health and wellness thing right. So how can we maintain our energy, and how does he maintain his energy? A lot of it's about routine. 10Xers are big on discipline. Grant starts his day early, just like I do. Includes a combination of movement, reflection, and intention setting. With me, I've told you about my morning routine before. I do a number of things on the health and wellness front to start my day. I do cold exposure, I do grounding, I do sauna, I do weight training every morning, and I also make sure I have all my nutrition mapped out for the day. And that's just a small portion of my morning routine. I've talked to you before about how my morning routine is rather extensive and can take upwards of 2.5 hours. That's why I get up so early to get it done. So Grant talks a lot also about feeding the machine, fueling the machine. And when we're talking about fueling the machine nutrition-wise, he focuses on a lot of what we talked about with Kyleigh. Hey, keep it clean, whole foods, no processed, make sure we're getting the highest quality foods that we can afford, and that would include organic for me, and hopefully that does for you too. Highly recommend organic in everything we can get. Grant also talks a lot about eliminating alcohol and other things like that out of his diet. For me, I've done the same thing, and it's made a tremendous impact on my energy level and my health in general. We talked about with Kyleigh the whole foods. If everyone would just simply follow that rule, I think most of us, well, not even just most of us, all of us would be a lot healthier. If you stick with whole foods, stay away from the highly processed junk, which has essentially zero nutritive value in it at all, we would be much better for it. So, hey, eat those whole foods, stay away from the highly processed stuff, limit sugars, limit alcohol, limit anything added, right? Stick to whole foods. Grant talks a lot about mindset as well as a health strategy. For him, it's not just about the physical, and for all of us, it's not just about the physical. It's about the mental as well. And we've talked about positivity a ton on this show. You should know by now that being 10X means you have aggressive positivity, right? We do not entertain negativity, fear, self-doubt. That mental clarity is really part of our wellness practice. And we also talk about obsession, but not in an unhealthy way, but in a focused, purpose-driven way. That's where I'm at with my health and wellness biohacking journey right now. I would call it an obsession, but it's not an unhealthy obsession. It's a focused, purpose-driven obsession. So where I am doing everything I can to make sure I'm here for my family, my kids, and everything down the road. Grant also talks a lot about daily affirmations, visualizations, and gratitude. Kyleigh talked a little bit about mindset as well, whether it's spiritual or not. That was one of her 4 foundations of health and wellness. Grant talks about those as helping you get into that 10X state of mind. We also talk a lot about, in the 10X world, the people you are surrounding yourself with and what you are around in your environment. Those are other ways that you can help in your health and wellness journey. They can help out a lot on the mental side, right? If you constantly have negative people around you, that's not good for your mental state. You need positive people. You need people that are striving, just like we've talked about before. We need to be intentional about surrounding ourselves with people who have high performance lifestyles, right? And specifically in this instance, we want people that are health conscious as well, because they're going to be the type of people that help you reach your health and wellness goals too. So when you're in a group like that, you guys together can model what it looks like to live with discipline, purpose, and ambition, everything moving forward. We also need to realize too that health and wellness really is a long game. We're making short-term decisions that impact our short and long-term health. So a lot of the things I'm doing right now, I see results for what I'm doing, but the intention is not just to get in shape or lose weight for the time being or eat healthy for right now. It's to increase health span, yes, increase longevity too, to be able to live longer, but more importantly, to be healthier longer, to be able to do the things I want to do with purpose, to be able to be there for my kids and be healthier long term, right? So it's health span and longevity. You can't help people if you are not healthy. If you're not healthy and you're constantly have to worry about your health state, right? You need to be able to be healthy enough to be out there for people. So a few big takeaways from Grant's philosophy on health and wellness. We call it 10X Health Checklist. Protect your energy. Guard it like a bank account, right? Do everything you can to protect your energy level. Move every day. We talked about this with Kyleigh, right? You don't have to have a super dialed in workout routine, move every day. For me personally, I do strength training and cardio every single day. I think that's the key to longevity. Muscle is your metabolic currency, so I think you need to weight train and then add that cardio as well. We get those 10,000 steps a day. Highly recommend that. Next, eat with purpose. Realize that you are fueling your mission. You are fueling your vision. Only eat those things that support that. Any of that junk does not need to be a part of that. It is not fueling your mission. So cut out all those toxins. Cut out that junk food. Cut out those negative people. Surround yourself with the right people and surround yourself with the right nutrition. Next thing, like we mentioned, master that mindset, clarity, gratitude, vision. Sleep's another big thing that we talked with Kyleigh. I mean, you need to have that recovery period. You know, when I was younger, I was not very good at that, but I found that the more disciplined and the more routine I am with my sleep, the better off I am. And then stay obsessed. Purpose fuels wellness. Again, I am obsessed with longevity, health span, biohacking, health and wellness right now. A lot of the podcasts I listen to outside of personal development and business are health podcasts. I listen to a lot of Dr. Mark Hyman. I listen to Dr. Gundry. I listen to Ben Greenfield. A lot of these guys that are experts, not only in the medical field, but in the biohacking field as well. And remember, we're playing the long game, and we need to lead by example. One of the things that Kyleigh mentioned was the effect that we can have on our kids, right? We can set them up for success. For far too long, especially in America, we've gone down the road of toxic food for convenience's sake or for cheap, right? We need to make sure we are getting away from that. We can change that for the next generation and raise healthier kids. And along those same lines, we can lead by example for everyone around us. It doesn't have to be just our kids. We can lead by example for everyone we come in contact with. So again, real quick, basic strategies that I use every single day. Eat whole foods, all organic, no highly processed food whatsoever, no added sugar. I will eat fruit, but no added sugar. I weight train and I do cardio every single day. I've cut out as many toxins as possible out of my nutrition regimen. So that means, like I mentioned, all organic. That means no seed oils. That means nothing artificial, period. We also do cold exposure, sauna, goal setting, mindfulness, professional development, personal development. All of these things fit in to a well-regimented health and wellness routine. We talked about some of the herbal remedies that Kyleigh makes. One of the things that I recommend is proper supplementation, right? What I've done through 10X, you can get a precision genetic test. So imagine having essentially a roadmap tailored specifically to what your body needs, guiding your nutrition, guiding your exercise regimen, and your overall wellness. That's precisely what this test aims to do. And they offer two, but this one specifically is the precision one, and this is the one that I personally did. So it's an at-home DNA test that examines 54 key genes that offer insights into your unique genetic makeup. And by understanding how your genes influence various aspects of your health, you can make informed decisions about your diet, exercise, and lifestyle. So it's pretty straightforward. I mean, you order the test, you collect your sample, which is a spit test. There's no needles involved. You send it back, and about 6 to 8 weeks later, you get a 400+ page report detailing your genetic insights. So what's inside that 400+ pages? It is a lot of stuff, right? That report includes, and it's all personalized to you, first, a nutrition analysis, so you understand how your body processes various nutrients and which foods are most compatible with your genetics. Next is weight management insights. You can see how your genes affect weight gain, metabolism. Next, exercise recommendations. You can learn which types of physical activity align best with your genetic profile. So it'll tell you, hey, you should be more of a cardio type exerciser, or you should be doing more weight training and what those percentages should be. And then it gives you supplement guidance. You receive suggestions for vitamins, minerals tailored to your body's needs. And the cool thing about that is if you want to, you don't have to do this part if you don't want to, but I certainly do, and I would recommend it if you're going to go this far with it. Based on your genetic results, they tailor a specific supplement pack for you. So it'll have all the different vitamins and minerals at different levels based on your specific needs, and their time released as well over 6 hours. Now, I got to say, I've taken a lot of different supplements over the years. I've taken a multivitamin for as long as I can remember for all of my adult life, and these are by far the very best that I've ever taken. So again, not required as part of the genetic test, but if you want true personalized supplementation, this is the way to go. In addition to that, on that 400 plus page document, it's going to give you customized nutrition plans, what types of foods that fit best with you to optimize your health based on your genetics. So I'm going to put that in the show notes. You can check that out if you'd like, if you're ready to take it to the next level and really get personalized results from your supplementation. I would highly recommend this 10X Health Precision Genetic Tests. Essentially, again, looks into your genetic blueprint, empowering you to make informed decisions about your health journey. And then by aligning your lifestyle with your DNA, you can optimize your well-being and achieve those personal health goals. Highly recommended by me. But these are some things you can do to certainly help you along that health and wellness journey. Be back with more after the break. Looking for a natural path to wellness? Discover the Primitive Prairie, your local source for all organic teas and tinctures. Led by a certified master herbalist and board-certified natural wellness practitioner, they're here with purpose, serving the community and helping others naturally. From custom wellness consultations to handcrafted herbal remedies, the Primitive Prairie is where healing begins with heart. Visit theprimitiveprairie.com because your health deserves nature's touch. Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hey, if you want to get caught up on previous episodes, just head over to your favorite podcast outlet. Search for Elevate Springfield. Should be able to find us, and while you're there, like, subscribe. We would certainly appreciate it. We're going to be back at it next week, but in the meantime, take today's actionable strategies that you learned from Kyleigh. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great.